Tall. Dressed like money. Eyes like midnight. That jawline, she blinked. "Hi," he said, voice low, calm, like a secret, her mouth parted. "Hi. I'm Lawrence Martins." Her heart tripped, the CEO. He smiled faintly. "Didn't think I'd come to Dubai, did you?" She swallowed. "No. I did," he said, slowly. "Because I had to see for myself who was brave enough to carry this story." There was a pause. A beat of silence. Heavy. Magnetic. "Now I see," he added, his gaze holding hers. They didn't exaggerate. Somewhere nearby, watching, Imelda, holding a clipboard and wearing her assistant producer tag, narrowed her eyes. So he was here, and already staring at her like that. She clenched her jaw. No way was she going to let Cherish win this easily, not after everything she had worked for. Imelda had planned to bask in the glory of making Cherish. But now, with Lawrence in the picture, Cherish wasn't just rising, she was soaring beyond anything Imelda could have orchestrated, and that burned, not a chance. The air inside the makeup tent was thick with the scent of foundation, setting spray, and gossip. Cherish sat silently as a stylist applied a nude gloss to her lips, her thoughts still tangled around her encounter with Lawrence Martins. She could still hear his voice, feel the weight of his stare. No one had ever looked at her like that before. Like she was the only person standing on earth. "Girl, you all right?" one of the makeup assistants asked, cocking her head. "You look like you've seen a ghost." Cherish gave a faint laugh. "Just tired." A lie. She was many things, but tired wasn't one of them. She was rattled, and curious. Why would he show up? He was Lawrence Martins, the billionaire, the media recluse, the mind behind Black Raven Studios, and one of Forbes' most untouchable CEOs. He didn't make surprise visits to sets, especially not international ones, unless he meant to watch her. Her skin prickled. Imelda pushed through the tent flaps then, a tight smile on her lips. "Great job out there, Cherish," she said, voice syrupy sweet. "The director's raving. And so is someone else." Cherish's brows rose. Imelda tilted her head. "Our very own Mr. Martins." "I didn't even know he was coming," Cherish replied carefully. "Neither did we." Something about the way Imelda looked at her made Cherish sit straighter. Was there a challenge buried in that smile? Meanwhile, hotel rooftop, later that night, Lawrence stood alone, the skyline of the city twinkling beneath the endless stretch of sky. Lucas was nearby, always alert. "She's different," Lawrence said suddenly. Lucas didn't need clarification. "Yes," he agreed. "And that's exactly why this can get messy." Lawrence's eyes narrowed. "How so?" "You haven't been public with any woman in almost 4 years. If this becomes a headline, we lose the narrative." "I'm not looking for headlines." Lucas smirked faintly. "No, but the media doesn't care what you're looking for." Lawrence leaned back in his chair. "What do you know about her past?" Lucas hesitated. "Raised in Nigeria. From a modest home. Single mother, dead, has an uncle, Elijah Nwokedi, who she doesn't joke with. Started on stage productions, then Nollywood. She's been clean, except for an uncertain story about the uncle, but for her, no scandals, no distractions. Until now." Lawrence drummed his fingers slowly. "Keep her safe." Quietly. Lucas nodded. "You sure that's all you want?" Lawrence didn't answer. He didn't need to. Lawrence. Standing by the corridor window. Tall, silent, composed. As if he'd been waiting, their eyes locked. Again, time stumbled. "Cherish," he said. The way he said her name sent a ripple down her spine. "Mr. Martins," she said, masking her tension. "Lawrence," he corrected. "Unless you're trying to keep things formal." Her lips tugged slightly. "Maybe I am." He stepped closer, not too near, but enough to close the air between them. I've seen a lot of women perform," he said. "But I haven't seen anyone own the screen the way you did yesterday." "I was just doing my job," she replied, voice soft. He tilted his head. "That's the difference. You weren't just acting. You were living the part." Her chest tightened. She wasn't used to praise from people like him, people who mattered. "Thank you," she murmured. He didn't move. Didn't rush. Just studied her like a puzzle he was in no hurry to solve. Then his tone changed. "You look like something's bothering you." Cherish hesitated. "I'm fine." Another lie. He didn't push. Just nodded. "If you ever need to talk about it, I'm around." She blinked. That felt personal. Before she could respond, Lucas appeared behind him, clearing his throat. "We're needed in conference, sir." Lawrence looked at her one more time. "See you on set." She watched them walk away, heart pounding. She'd come to Dubai for a role, but she was already part of a bigger story. And someone didn't want her to make it out whole. Cherish stood by the open window of her hotel suite, the Arabian Gulf shimmering like liquid glass in the distance. She had changed out of her costume, now wrapped in a satin robe, her hair tied in a loose bun. But her mind wasn't at peace. She couldn't shake the memory of Lawrence Martin's penetrating gaze, how it lingered on her like a whispered secret.